This video was brought to you by Hook Theory.
What are the dangers of living in a bubble? Well, if you look at Galinda from Wicked, it seems to be pretty fabulous and comfortable.
She could live in a bubble her whole life and never have to fight for anything because she has that privilege.
But why then would Elphaba seem to want to break out of the metaphorical bubble? And what does it have to do with her show-stopping number, Defying Gravity, and the iconic riff that comes at the end of the song?
This is how Defying Gravity works.
And spoilers ahead.
There are many Easter eggs in Wicked.
There are loads of Easter eggs within it.
A lot of Easter eggs. There's some musical Easter eggs.
One of the most well-known ones is something I talked about in a YouTube short. But aside from these many Easter eggs, today I'm going to talk about the deeper meaning in the symbolism of the film, which shows just how much thought director John M. Chu and his team put into the little details.
And look at costumes. There's breadcrumbs all over the place.
Now, I talked about another character's glasses and the use of the color green as symbols before on this channel, but the glasses in Wicked have a different meaning. Perhaps the best way to understand this is through Dr. Dillamond. Dillamond wears glasses which represent his view of reality. In his view, animals are capable of speech and engaging in society as full citizens. However, Elphaba receives a vision where Dillamond is locked up in a cage without his glasses, and without these glasses, he's seemingly also stripped of his citizenship and his rights. And in the song Something Bad, Dillamond describes some of his animal friends losing their powers of speech, and at the end of the song, he sings, "Nothing truly bad," which ominously sounds like he's also losing his powers of speech. At the moment that he brays uncontrollably, his glasses fall off, representing how his view of reality that animals can speak is starting to slip away. Later, when Dillamond is fired from his professorship at Shiz University and is taken away, his glasses fall off again. Elphaba picks them up, revealing that they have been cracked. Dillamond's reality as a full citizen of Oz has been broken permanently. Now, Elphaba didn't break Dillamond's glasses, but she does have a distinct habit of breaking glass. The first time she visits the dorm room with Galinda, she magically closes the doors to the balcony, putting a hole in one of its glass panes. When Madame Morrible is teaching Elphaba a levitation spell, Elphaba eventually is successful and flings the coin, shattering a glass case. Elphaba is always breaking through glass, and the most important piece of glass that Elphaba breaks through, well, no, not that, but it is important and we will get there. The most important piece of glass Elphaba breaks through are her own glasses. Okay, she doesn't break them literally, but let me explain. Elphaba has worn these glasses since she was a child. On them is a design reminiscent of the infinity symbol, much like when she sings about being unlimited. However, she's constantly reminded of how limited she is because she's teased for her green skin. In a way, these glasses represent Elphaba's reality, one in which the world will never accept her as an equal of everyone else. Though the glasses suggest being unlimited, they actually represent a type of limiting belief. Another limiting belief of hers is that the Wizard of Oz is powerful and good, which is a reality shared by all Ozians. In fact, her belief in this is so strong that one of her dreams is to meet the wizard so that he can de-greenify her, which she sings about in her want song, The Wizard and I. So Elphaba's glasses represent her reality, one in which her green skin means that she's not accepted, and one in which the Wizard of Oz is supported as the most powerful person in the land. Now, I talked about the use of power in music in my video on Don't Lose Your Head from Six the Musical. And in that video, the musical interval that commonly represents power is the perfect fifth.
Certain intervals were called perfect and they were thought of as divine. Like this is the perfect fifth.
Something which you can hear in all of the John Williams scores. And as part of my undergraduate thesis paper on the perfect fifth, called The Perfect Fifth, I talked about what makes the perfect fifth so powerful and so perfect. Not only does it happen to sound nice to our ears, but it also corresponds to a perfect natural ratio, 3:2. So if I had a tone buzzing at 200 hertz, that is, it's pulsing 200 times a second, a note a perfect fifth above that would be pulsing at 300 times a second. As it turns out, the sound of the perfect fifth is also used often to accompany visuals of landscapes where the ratio between sky and land often correlates to 3:2. For example, in Forrest Gump, the perfect fifth is the basis of the opening piano vamp. But more importantly, the perfect fifth is used in Forrest Gump's running theme. Early on in the film, Forrest is in a metallic contraption that is attempting to straighten his back, but only really hampers his ability to move freely. Forrest Gump's legs eventually break free from this imposed control, and it's at this moment of triumphant release that the audience hears the perfect fifth running theme. The running theme returns when Forrest has lost the love of his life, Jenny, and as he's sitting on the porch, he suddenly springs up and decides to start running cross-country. Not only does the running theme appear, but Forrest is seen making his way through 3:2 proportioned natural landscapes. Now we see the 3:2 landscape represented in the film when Elphaba is running through the fields and even flies a tiny bit. This is reminiscent of the scene in Superman where we also see young Clark Kent fly through fields that are also in 3:2 proportion. Perhaps it's not a coincidence then that the Superman theme is also made up of perfect fifths. And the use of perfect fifths not only connects it to the natural landscape, but also suggests that Clark Kent's powers come from nature itself. In fact, Professor Dillerman speaks of animal culture in his lecture, pointing to an era where the natural wisdom of animals was allowed to flourish. But with Dillerman taken away and animals silenced, it seems that natural wisdom is being erased and being replaced with the belief that animals shouldn't speak and that they shouldn't wear glasses and that they should be locked away in cages. Now, the way to musically undermine a perfect fifth is what we call a tritone, which has been called the devil in music for the way that it sounds dissonant and in contrast to the perfect fifth, unnatural. For this reason, it can be used to represent things that are unnatural,
or even supernatural, like in the film Ghost.
Or from WandaVision, the song Agatha All Along.
It's been Agatha all along. WandaVision, da da. That's the devil's interval.
For example, one of my favorite uses of the tritone is in Back to the Future. You can hear it in the main theme, which is a perfect fifth followed by a tritone. If you put two major chords a tritone apart, you get this sound,
which perfectly conveys the feeling of something unnatural like time travel.
In Wicked, we hear the tritone when the crowd is singing Wicked, and beneath that theme, the bass note is a tritone away from the root of the chord, giving us this unsettling, unnatural feeling, a clue that what everyone's singing about is not quite right. But back to the glasses. Elphaba is wearing her glasses when she begins school at Shiz, but the first time we see her without the glasses is at the Oz Dust Ballroom, where without her glasses, without her limiting belief system, Elphaba takes a leap of faith into society and is rewarded with Galinda supporting her dance, and pretty soon everyone is accepting of Elphaba. In other words, after taking off her glasses, Elphaba breaks through her limiting belief that she'll never have friends. Galinda, however, has a different relationship with limiting beliefs, or bubbles. She finds comfort in them for the way that they simplify the world. The perfect illustration for this is the way that Galinda treats Elphaba's glasses. At first, you think Galinda is doing that classic makeover move of taking off someone's glasses to reveal the true natural beauty underneath.
I did it, I'm a miracle worker.
But then Galinda hilariously puts the glasses back on Elphaba. Metaphorically, this perfectly illustrates Galinda's strategy of creating a bubble where others view her as being fabulous and popular in order to get what she wants.
It's not about aptitude, it's the way you're viewed.
If Elphaba's glasses represent her limiting beliefs, Galinda is the type of person responsible for creating and manipulating those beliefs in the first place. Like how she dresses Elphaba in different glasses, or how this dance move makes it look like she's forming a bubble around Elphaba. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a filter around you if that filter is helping you understand the world better. Dilliman's glasses represent his better understanding of Oz through his knowledge of history and animal culture. The problem is Galinda's bubble is entirely self-serving to get what she wants, and filters out anything that gets in the way of that, and that's why she can't comprehend it when Madame Morrible won't allow her into the sorcery seminar. She even needs to pop the bubble to hear what someone outside the bubble is saying. In this way, Galinda hiding behind her enchanting bubble is similar to the way the wizard hides behind his imposing mechanical head. This idea is even cemented in his dance through his model of Oz, where he goes behind a screen and all we see is a silhouette of him. This metaphorical screen is what the wizard has actually shrouded over all of Oz with his tales of power and goodness. In Wizomania, a show that is meant to praise the wizard, he can be seen reading from the Grimmery, chanting Omaha, Omaha, which is not a magical spell at all, but just the city in Nebraska where he's originally from. But it sounded magical enough to fool the citizens of Oz. Speaking of fooling the Ozians, the idea of glasses filtering reality and limiting Elphaba's beliefs came directly from the original 1900 book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. For example, did you know that in that book, the Emerald City isn't actually green?
What?
In L. Frank Baum's first Oz novel, the wizard makes everyone who enters the Emerald City wear glasses, because if you did not wear the spectacles, the brightness and glory of the Emerald City would blind you. Even those who live in the city must wear spectacles night and day. In truth, the glasses that everyone had to wear were tinted green, which made the Emerald City appear, well, emerald, but in reality the city was no more green than any other city. In other words, the wizard is using the glasses to lie to everyone, literally placing a false reality over their eyes. And when Elphaba finally realizes that the wizard is a con man,
you have no real power,
we finally reach the song Defying Gravity, where Elphaba decides to let go of the lies of the wizard as this powerful and good person. In other words, she decides to let go of her limiting beliefs.
It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
A moment which Stephen Schwartz underscores with the Defying Gravity motif.
This is the true power of the witch, or that's what it's meant to convey, and it's this.
This Defying Gravity power motif begins on a chord consisting of a perfect fifth, which in rock music is even known as a power chord.
I wanted to find something that just sounded like strength, power.
Next, he follows it up with the Defying Gravity keyboard vamp.
It's time to try.
And what does it consist of but a repeated perfect fifth, which then leads us to a more energized version of the Defying Gravity motif. In other words, Elphaba is beginning to embrace her natural power. And we see perfect fifths prominently in the melody as well. For example, when Elphaba sings,
Close my eyes and leave.
But that's not all. The next phrase she sings begins the chorus of the song on another perfect fifth.
It's time to try.
In fact, these two perfect fifths are related. The second one begins where the first one left off, almost like she's using the perfect fifths to leapfrog higher than she ever could before.
And leave. It's time to try.
And yes, symbolically of breaking through this bubble, this barrier, this filter on her reality, she jumps through the glass window, shattering the glass and the bubble that she has been brought up in. But she's not quite flying yet. She actually falls first, where she sees herself reflected as a kid wearing those glasses again and seeing her younger self as a girl with those limiting beliefs reaching towards her, and she realizes that she is now the person who her younger self needed to step into her own power. Just as Forrest Gump needed to break his mechanical braces in order for him to run, Elphaba needed to understand that the glasses, the way that she viewed the world and the reality that surrounded her, is something that she needs to break out of. And it's at this moment she reaches out towards her younger self, grabbing the broom and flying off. And what does the broom represent? Well, you'll notice the broom is made up of wild twigs and branches from the surrounding natural landscape, where we first saw her fly in a field of 3:2 proportions. So when she embraces the broom, she is embracing her own natural power.
But before Elphaba flies away, she does one final thing. She shatters all the glass light bulbs in the Emerald City, symbolically bursting the bubbles everyone's been living in. And it's at this point that she sings her iconic riff, which, yes, begins on a perfect fifth. If you like this musical breakdown, also check out my friends over at Hook Theory,
an educational platform designed to make music theory accessible and practical for everyone. It features tons of resources powered by their database of over 50,000 chord and melody analyses for popular songs you know and love. You can see that it graphically shows you the melody, the chords underneath, a grid to visually see the rhythm, and a visual representation that teaches you how to play the melody and chords on a keyboard, or if you prefer, on a guitar. Additionally, they also offer the Hook Theory Skills Bundle, which includes the training game Chord Crush and Hook Pad, a songwriting sketch pad with a built-in music theory engine that makes smart suggestions in real time, so you can always find the next best note or chord for your song. Hook Theory is great whether you're a seasoned musician or a beginner, and even if all of this still looks unapproachable, Hook Theory has you covered with its books feature that teaches you music theory lessons from basic to more advanced concepts. If you go to hooktheory.com/HowardHo, you can enjoy 20% off the Hook Theory Skills Bundle and your first year of Chord Crush Premium at the link in the description. Again, go to hooktheory.com/HowardHo for 20% off, and you'll be helping out my channel as well. Please subscribe for more musical breakdowns. I'd like to thank my patrons on Patreon, including my newest patron, Carol DeGere. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.